Oh, that would be the wrong one, Jeremy.
Welcome to the Chain Out Podcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Daryl.
Hey everybody, welcome to Season 2, Episode 7070. That's right, I'm Jeremy. Right beside me is your favorite co-host, Daryl. How you doing, pal?
Sometimes you introduce me as like the technical wizard and all that, but apparently I don't know which button does what.
That's why I dropped it from this intro.
Doing great, Jeremy. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Guess what?
What?
I got to play a new course this week.
Wow.
Already this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I was out in Bonnyville for work, and I was out there Sunday, Monday, and just came back last night. And on Monday night...
I know somebody who lives out in Bonnyville.
Who would that be?
That would be one Mr. Dan Dupreez.
Ah, yeah, I did try to look him up. I learned a couple things, though, about Mr. Dan.
Yeah.
He's a busy guy, first of all. That's the one thing.
Yeah.
And the second thing is he's not a big fan of winter disc golf.
He's not a winter golfer.
But, you know, we're still in that early... What are we? Are we in the honeymoon stage of being disc golfers that we still want to play during the winter? Would that be
Yeah.
something like that?
I think we are.
Yeah. So anyways, I went out there. It's a 9-hole course called Bonnyville Baptist. It's got a tiny little lake in there. It's on a small piece of land, but it's used quite well.
Yeah.
It's got 9 baskets, 18 tee pads, red and blue. I brought out that little shovel that I bought.
Right.
I shoveled off the red tee pads,
Good
doing my due diligence and my
Yeah.
duty. Right.
Yeah.
And I played the first 9 holes. It was a lot of fun. And then I'm like, you know what? Should I shovel the blues? I'm like, no, I'm not shoveling again. so I just put the shovel
9
in
is
the car
enough.
and played 9 again. Had a great time. But
So,
go
sorry,
ahead.
I just got to ask
Yeah.
you. Because I know recently we played together and you switched over from back to cart again,
Yes.
preempting the spring and the summer.
Yes.
So when you went out there, did you switch back to bag? Did you just go with your little hip bag?
My hip bag.
Yeah,
I did
okay.
the messenger bag. But you know what? As I got playing, because I was playing reds and it is a smaller course,
Mhm.
I could have got around there with putters and mid-ranges, and that was it. I think I threw 1 or 2 like fairway drivers.
Right.
But that was just to try a different shot on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it was a good time. Played that. I think, did you already know this? That sponsor of the show, BR Disc Golf owner, Brendan McKinstry, designed that course?
You know what? I didn't remember it until you said, but once you said it, I did click in my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, I think that's on the website. If you go to the BR website,
Oh,
it
okay.
is listed on there as one of the courses that you did design. But if you'd asked me before that, I would have said I hadn't got a clue.
Right. Well, I knew. I was in my mind. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. But then you see BR on the course board, and you see it on the baskets and everything else.
Yeah.
And he's done a couple designs there. He made an island hole,
Right?
and then he also, I know this is maybe not your favorite, but at USWDGC, that wicker wall.
I'm out.
You're out. I know.
No, just kidding.
He built a hole like that as well, with the wood kind of garage door opening, if you want to call it that.
Right.
Except it's a lot closer to the tee pad than it would be at
From the Reds.
USWDGC. And even from Blues, it's not that much further back.
Right.
But it doesn't matter, right? As soon as you narrow something,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how close it is, you're always worried you're not going to make it through.
See, then I would argue, what's the point in having it?
Well,
Is the hole? Does it make it a different hole? The fact that you have to hit the Mando, like, would you normally? Is the best shot a big wide hyzer, but you can't do that because you have to go through the Mando? Like, does it make that much of a difference?
it's a straight shot. It's slightly uphill. But to me, it was a fun thing. I think you need to get out there. You'll try it out.
Right.
And then really judge it once you've thrown it. You're just judging it based
I'm
on
not
judging a
judging it.
book on its cover. Like when you judge
Right.
USWGGC.
I'm asking you.
Yeah. Oh no, I thought it was still good. It forced me to throw a straight shot, and maybe I need more
Is
of
that
those
the
in my
shot that
life.
you would have played normally if the Mando wasn't there?
Oh, not at all.
Right. Well, okay. Well, then that actually serves a purpose then.
Right.
So it is forcing you to throw a different shot.
Oh, 100%. It's
Right.
forcing you to throw a straight shot to get that in there. So,
Right.
but yeah, that's what I did.
Cool.
And then I thought I saw that maybe you put out a nice post about a mail call you got this week.
I did.
Or was
you,
it-
you had the mail call last week, I think.
Yeah.
This week I got a mail call. Isn't it always good to get mail calls?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you know that when we get mail calls, it's plastic.
Yes, it
and
is.
It's not only plastic, it's Sophia Donica's national Canadian Nationals win stamp discs.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I
there you
think
go.
so.
I got a Gorgon.
Okay.
Because I
You
do
love
like
a Gorgon.
I love a Gorgon. I got 4 Gorgons now.
Wow.
Because I bought 2.
Yep.
And then you gave me the one that you got from Falcon's Flight.
Yes.
And now I got this Halo Star Gorgon here as well. So 4 Gorgons. You know, maybe I didn't get on the color soon enough. I don't really like green, but whether I'll throw this or not, I don't know. I mean, I probably should. And then I also got a Protoglow Mako 3, and I've got 3 of these as well. Just because I don't have a Mako 3 in the Protoglow plastic, so I want to see how that flies. So, not signed though.
No.
Not that I didn't tell her to sign them.
Right.
Not that I didn't.
That you didn't ask her?
That I didn't ask her to sign them because I forgot. I just figured she knows I want them signed. Maybe she'll sign them, but she didn't. So it just means that next time I'm going to have to meet up with her. Got to take these with me to get them signed.
I guess they'll be coming to nationals, but
Yeah.
I do think Sophia and some of the pros are still a little humble that they feel that they're wrecking your disc, not wrecking your disc, but they're like graffiti on your disc. But you're like, no, I'd like that signature,
yeah, exactly.
please.
Yeah.
So and we had a post on the Facebook post that you put about the discs that Tobin Isaac was wanting one of those sweet Mako 3s and wondering how to get one.
Right.
So what's the best way to get one?
Best way to get one, if there's any left,
Mm-hmm.
is to contact the player, the pro themselves. Contact Sophia Donica on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's probably the best place. I'm sure she's at other places as well, but I know that she's on Instagram. And if she has any left, I'm sure she'll be willing to sell you one.
Yeah. Okay, Daryl. Next thing I have to say, and I put it in the notes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Our listeners really stepped up to the plate, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah. We had our 350 subscriber contest on the go.
Yeah.
And I think when we started when you put up the post with
Yeah.
what the prizes were,
Right.
where were we at? We're at like
We were at 348.
348.
348 to start. We put out the post, the race to 350.
Yep.
I think by the end of the day or within a couple days, we were at 368, I think. Then we
Okay.
checked on the episode and we were at 369.
Wow.
And now we're at 370 on the road to 400.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know that we have a 400 prize pack, but I know we will put together a 500 prize pack for sure.
And if you look at how sweet the 350 subscriber prize pack is, very elegantly shown off by Miss Jeremy White.
Yeah.
It's a Prodigy BP2 version or BP3 version 2 backpack. A warship with Hobson Heiser's die. It's got an Edgar pig. It's got a
I guess I'm not doing the right order.
Latitude 64 dyed disc by Patreon subscriber Dinah Dyes Discs. Also a set of birdie beads. There you go. Sweet disc. There's the chain out mini, the custom chain out mini by Redhead Woodworking's Kevin Topping. There's a goat towel on there. There's birdie beads and some stickers. We'll throw some things in there as well. But that's the 350. We're now at 370, Jeremy.
Yes. And we got about, what is it? Just under 2 weeks left for you to get in on that contest. So let
Yes.
people know, especially if they're new to disc golf, this would be a great starter set with a putter, fairway, kind of a putt approach disc.
Yeah. You know what else would be a great starter set for beginners, Jeremy?
What would that be, Daryl?
That would be the new 3-disc challenge that I am TDing. The Discape, the great Discape presented by Edgar.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
3 discs. You'll get the Draken X, which is a very understable fairway driver, distance driver. You get the Sky Terran, very straight neutral mid-range, and the Aquarian as well, a nice neutral putter. Sign up, go to Disc Golf Scene, $40 gets you the 3 discs. We'll be playing it 2 rounds at Hermitage Park. And there's going to be a rec league and the pro league. So the pros will be playing from the blues, the recs will be playing from the red.
Well, you said
It's an-
pros.
Well, I
I'm
know.
playing blues. I don't think I'm a pro. So if you want to play blues, there is a version of that.
It says pro on the sign.
All right.
You clicked on it, so
Look at this
that
pro
says more
coming
about
out.
you. If you're, I mean, it's good. It's new discs to you, and it's a
Yes.
challenge. So
Oh, yeah.
hitting them from the blues, that'll be good.
And I think you've got like all types of discs. So if you're a new disc golfer, there's some light versions of the discs.
Yep, we have majority of the discs are in 173, but we also have a bunch in 150 gram as well. So definitely good for those beginners and those people with not such strong arms as the pros, Jeremy.
Yes, as pros.
Yeah, but it's an unsanctioned event, so it doesn't matter if you're a PDGA member or not. Come out, have some fun, grab some new plastic, get your first plastic, have 2 rounds.
And
have
you're
some fun.
supporting the Edmonton Disc Golf Association, which is always good, which helps us get more courses in the ground, which would be great. And those 3 discs, if you happen to win this prize pack, would fit just nicely in that Prodigy bag.
Oh, look at the segues. It's meant to be.
Yeah. And of course, we talked about BR Disc Golf. They're designing that Bonnyville course. They're one of our sponsors this year. So if you want some sweet discs, maybe like if Sophia didn't have some and you wanted to grab some other ones,
absolutely,
you can head out there. And we got a code called...
Last week, or a couple weeks ago, we reviewed the Halo Red Glow in the Dark.
Oh, yeah.
Item. We get that at brdiscgolf.com as well.
For sure. And if you want to see that review, that's on our Around the Basket episode from a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But if you use the code CHAINOUT with BR Disc Golf, you'll get 10% off your order. If you want some sweet threads like the ones we're wearing from Cardinal Disc Golf,
wrong way.
Use CHAINOUT, you'll get 10% off there. And if you want to get Chains, the disc golf board game, use CHAINOUT and you'll get 25% off. Daryl, that's not all.
That's not all.
No. I think we got one more. What happens if you use COP 15?
If you go to thegoattowel.com, you will get 15% off. You know, they've got a few items there. They've got some discs. They've got the best, they've got the greatest of all towels.
They do.
Yeah.
And they've got those custom Zuka cart license plates like we got.
They do. And I haven't got mine on my cart yet, but like I said, when we went out to Hermitage last time, you had yours, and somebody was asking,
Where'd you get that?
So it's if you want to stand out in the crowd, that's what you need.
Yeah, and all of these discounts come from you guys supporting Chain Out Podcast, so we appreciate it. Keep supporting us, keep listening, subscribing, following, sharing, and we'll keep trying to get giveaways and stuff to go your way.
Yeah.
And after the Chain Out Podcast, be sure to jump over to our Patreon. You can sign up as a free member and you'll get a link to join us on even more Canadian disc golf talk on Around the Basket. This week, Chantel Badinsky and Rebecca Dawn were playing at Waco, so I want to chat about that.
Yeah.
Parked Pro released recently the Gold Eagle coverage.
Yeah.
And we're lucky enough that MPO winner Thomas German's going to join us.
Yeah, we spoke to him just after the event.
But now we've seen it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we'll hear some more about that in the highlights. And then also league play is coming up in April. Like it's right around the corner.
It's only a month away.
Yeah, and we haven't even talked really about what leagues we're playing and what our listeners are playing. So
right. And we should we'll give a shout out to Edgar and let everybody know what leagues are available.
Yeah. And then if you don't have a chance to watch us because you just can't handle that much disc golf in one night, if you can't, who are you? What's going on? ATV releases on the weekend on YouTube, and if you click the bell, it'll notify you and you can watch it then.
Yeah.
Let's get to the guest, Daryl.
We got him waiting. Let's go for it.
Okay. Edmonton has produced some awesome disc golfers, and this week we are lucky enough to be joined by one of them. This MPO player has been competing in PDGA tournaments since 2017. One of the friendliest people you'll meet on the course. He's always quick with a smile. You will recognize his voice as one of your favorite Canadian disc golf commentators on Parked Pro's coverage. Let's welcome the GOAT himself, Jeremy Gauthier, to the podcast.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. Jeremy, how are you?
Oh, very good. I'm really excited to talk about my experience as an ultimate and wait, hold on.
Oh.
Is this the laid out podcast or chain out? Sorry, give me 1 second. Hold on. Just make a change here.
Awesome.
He's booked a lot, I think.
There we go. Okay. Let's just go with this.
There you go.
Okay. Oh, yes. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh, sorry. One second.
Oh, just PDGA.
There we go.
Oh, PDGA.
Okay. Sorry, we finally got that figured out. How's it going, guys?
Great. Well,
thanks for indulging me on that.
Well,
I was trying to think what would be the nicest way to get involved in a disc golf podcast. I'm like, everyone else has their disc behind them. Yeah. I'm like, whatever. We'll give it a try.
Well, we
Anyway.
know how in demand you are, right? So there was probably that ultimate podcast that you were going to be on this week as well. Just got your dates confused. Is that what happened?
Oh, I was such a star ultimate player in the past. Oh, I was kind of hopping from call to call. So, but I chose you guys over anything else. So I'm very, very honored that you guys had me on the show. So,
There you go. We feel special.
but all seriously, I really appreciate the offer to come on the podcast. It's been pretty cool. It's neat to say, like, I'm friends with Matt Lysak, so they did the Park Pro podcast, and then when I heard there was another podcast in Edmonton, I'm like, oh, that's what Edmonton needs, another disc golf podcast. But it's really good. It's really,
Yeah.
really good, and you guys have built a great fan base, and you've built a great following. So and you both are, well, Daryl, I don't think I've ever met you in person, but Jeremy, I have, and you guys are, well, I'm just going to extrapolate from Jeremy to Daryl that you guys seem very nice.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate
If I hang
that.
around this guy, I must be.
Yeah, there you go. Well, and you're right, Jeremy. We had a chance there to catch up briefly there at the Tundra Toss tournament. And we had a chance to kind of, after the season from last year, see each other again. And it's always a great start to the Edmonton disc golf season. But for you, are you still a winter disc golfer, or was that kind of your first time coming out again? Or
No, big time. I'm definitely not as I'm not as into the winter disc golf as much. I think my limit of going into playing disc golf is no longer minus 30, because my Matt and Rich, we'd go out there, pretty much if it's deep snow or anything, but I'd say minus 15. I've been out a Rundle minus 15 is like a minus 25 with the wind chill. So I guess,
Yeah, exactly.
so, but no, it's been great. You know what? Honestly, my wife and I had a baby boy a year and 15 months ago. So it's
Right.
my ability to get out and play has been a lot less and less these days. And what's been really nice, I'll just shout out to Matt again. Matt has been there just at the drop of a hat. If I can say, hey, I've got 2 hours, do you want to go? And he'll be ready to go, and we'll go play Rundle or Hermitage or Bailey's Crossing. And so it's definitely not as much as I used to play, but it's I'd probably say maybe once every 2 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
So
That's not bad.
yeah.
Well,
How about you guys?
Well, I was going to say to you, Jeremy, was that we both have kids that are all grown up now.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're still measuring in years and months, as soon as you get past the 1 year, 15 months, and you get to the 2 years, 3 years, you'll probably have a little more time on your hands, but it
Oh,
takes
that's
that
good.
little
That's
bit of time to get there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Once you can leave them in a room on their own and not have to worry, then you're okay.
My goal is I'd like to be able to bring him out, and Bailey's Crossing is kind of fun just to run around, and
Oh, absolutely.
so it'd be kind of fun once he gets involved in nature and all that. And so maybe not stroller worthy, but we could always give it a try. So,
Well, also too is we just talked to Amber Chason out of Calgary recently, and I even saw a new post from her, I think just today. But Avery, her daughter, is out there, and they've got her dumping discs in baskets and throwing them, and so they've just kind of said this is going to be part of your life, so you better get used to it.
nice. That's awesome. I know my son is starting to throw his cars around now, so I'm trying to substitute the cars for minis to see if he could just get used to those things. So no, it's a fun time, and it's I know I was a little late to the game getting started with the whole children thing, but it's been a lot of fun, and some things have had to take a bit of a back seat, but still have time to get out. And I have to say my wife has been great for letting me get out when I can. So I find that, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but there's definitely something about you needing a little bit of time to yourself to, let off a little bit of steam. As much as you love them, it's just nice to be able to go for a walk and get some fresh air and throw something as hard as you can, for a couple of hours.
Exactly. I can relate. I remember those days, and I will tell you as well, even when they're older, it's bigger kid, bigger problems. So it's just something different. You're cleaning up a mess from a party the night before or something like that. So
that's the best advice I ever got was, kid, you have to know your you have to be a good negotiator. And the only difference is that the negotiating chips have just changed every year. So right now it's a go-go squeeze, which is like little, apple sauce. And now next thing it'll be, I don't know, chocolate or something like that. And then, it's fun to see. It's fun to just figure out what's going on next. So
That is the fun thing, because it's so humorous. Sometimes it's hard to keep a straight face when you're trying to get to the bottom of a situation, and they're lying to you, and you're thinking, "Come on, kid. Like, I pulled these tricks. I know all the tricks in the book. You can't fake a faker." Like, but
Yeah.
okay, we gotta let them ride it out. Let
Yeah.
them ride it out. They'll learn their lesson.
For sure.
Yeah, my it's around this age. It's been they, you know how they're so innocent that they just, if they're gonna do something, they'll look at you and do it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the time when he starts like trying to lie and try to pick them apart a little bit. And yeah, it'll be a
They
fun
always
time.
just try and push the boundary.
Oh, good. Oh man, I have to ask Daryl. So, well, both Jeremy and Daryl, so did you both throw Gorgons, or
So
is that a
probably in the last, I don't know, I would say 6 months to a year, I've tried to transition my bag to just Innova. So,
okay.
yeah, I do throw Gorgons. Yeah, they're a little. It's funny how even in the short time that I've had it, when I first started throwing it, it was kind of a neutral flying disc. But I don't know whether I've gotten better or they've gotten beaten in. But now they're a little bit more understable for me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of. I think I've had some friends that throw Gorgons, and I've always been interested to see what they're like. And I was told that they were more of an overstable distance driver or understable distance driver.
Understable. Yeah.
Yeah, understable. Yeah. Sorry, I'm still switched on to ultimate. Just trying to switch in lingo. No, that's great. It was neat to see, because I've always been kind of interested in those ones. What other discs have you been throwing from the Innova lineup then?
So I really like my Mako 3.
Actually, let's start with the shorter question, Jeremy. And as you're asking Daryl the interview question here, what discs from Innova is he not throwing right now would be the shorter one.
I've we're still both early, I guess, if you want to class it in that regard, in our disc golf careers. We're still in that, well, at least I am anyway, in that fun time where you just want to keep buying discs. So,
Oh, yeah.
you get a disc and it doesn't fly the way you want it to, and you think, well, that didn't fix my problem, so now I need to get a different disc that's going to fix my problem, right? So, but I've strongly, I think it was episode 11, we spoke to Brendan McKinstry from BR Disc Golf, and he explained of having different, the same disc, but in different plastics or different things, just for the hand feel. And I really took that to heart. So now if I find a disc I like, so I like Mako 3s, I've got a few of those, Gorgons, Wraiths I like. I do like a Thunderbird.
Your zeros?
My zeros for putting, I like putting with zeros.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then
Nice.
I've got JK AVRs, I've got Yeti AVRs, I've got, Polecats,
Eagle L's.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
But Jeremy,
Have you
you're
tried-
kind of a, sorry.
Have you tried a Sidewinder? And I have a couple of other points about the Innova lineup, because I'm a big Innova guy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I do have a Sidewinder, but it's white, so I haven't thrown it since last summer. I
Gotcha.
just got it at the end of last summer, so I haven't really thrown it a lot.
Okay. What plastic did you get it in? Or what plastic are you a fan of?
And that's funny, because when I first started looking at their lineup, I was thinking that, I need to get it in Champion. Champion's the pro plastic. I don't want to get G-Star. That's not for me. But then the more I've learned the plastics, I'm realizing that Star plastic is, it's got the durability, it's got the grippiness that I like. So yeah, Star. And then even I've got sorry, we're talking about it.
Go right ahead.
We'll
This
come
is
back to
good.
you in a minute, Jeremy. I got 2 Mambas, and I just got a G-Star Mamba. And I do like the Mamba for that. For my arm, I can get it, even though it's a -5, I think, turn, I can get a nice long S-flight out of my lightweight Mambas.
Oh, nice. You know what I find interesting about the Star plastic? I'm glad you brought it up, because I actually, whenever I get frustrated with my bag, I always go back to I throw a Star Sidewinder that I got just off the shelf, and it's a -3, and that's the same thing. I can get a really nice S shape out of it, and I held off for the longest time because I thought, well, I could throw hard. I should be throwing overstable discs like Wraiths and Destroyers and all that. And then I just couldn't get them to fly the way I want them to. And finally I just haphazardly picked a Wraith off the shelf. And I don't know if it's the new Star plastic,
Right.
or if it's the more recent Star plastic, but I found that it doesn't fly to the numbers that they propose.
Right.
I find that I find that my Sidewinder probably is more like a whatever is a 9.5 -1 maybe instead of a -3 or a -2, like
Right.
-1 out of the box, maybe -2 once it's beat in. And I've had it
Right.
for probably 4 years now. So
Yeah. And I think actually that's the same with the Gorgon, because I think you say that the Gorgon is a -3 one, but actually it's stamped on it as -2 one. But actually, I think on the website they do have the two numbers stamped on their disc, depending if it's like a first run or a star or G star. So they have a -3 or -3.2, I think it is, or a -2.2. I may got that wrong, but they've stamped different numbers on the disc.
oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And I do wonder if they test their numbers based off of how, Garrett Gauthier throwing the disc, and they're like, oh yeah, he turns that over, so that's a -3.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, when we say it's got the number stamped on it, that's how much faith you put in those numbers that you put on there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, I don't know what plastic they're in, but I've got a Roadrunner US DGC Roadrunner.
We both got one.
We got one of those, and then I've also got a Leopard, and it doesn't matter how I throw those. I'm getting them maybe flat with a bit of hyzer. They're never turning over for me, those discs.
Yeah.
I have a Greg Barsby Roadrunner as well, and then what are they called, a Halo Star one, and same thing. Like the only time those things turn over for me is in the winter when it's really cold, and so and then you feel like you're just on fire, and then the spring comes around, and you're like, okay, what am I just throwing?
Exactly.
So
just wanted to confirm it. The G Star Gorgon is 10.6 -3.1.
Okay.
The Proto Glow, the Star, the Gorgon Pro, they're 10.6 -2.1. So even on the Innova website, in that G Star plastic, it's more understable, which is what I've heard as well. The G Star plastic is a bit more understable than the Star or the Champion.
Yeah, it makes sense. I've got a few destroyers. I went on a bit of a buying spree myself with buying all the G Star stuff when it first came out. So I've got a few G Star destroyers. I had a G Star Thunderbird, G Star Wraith, just anything really. I had a G Star Colossus, which in the wintertime flies amazing, by the way.
Wow.
My other thought anyway, Daryl, if you're looking for, and Jeremy too, if you're looking for ones, have you guys tried a Corvette?
I've heard of it, but I've never tried it.
Isn't that's like a really high? Is that 13 speed?
It's a 14.
14.
I think.
Oh my gosh!
But when it's nice, and I found that once it's nice and beat in, you get kind of you get a beautiful S shape out of it. I very highly recommend it if you're I mean, I heard you like to buy discs, so if you're looking for a different one. I might even have a few on the shelf I could lend you next time I see you.
Can you just twist my arm a little bit there?
Exactly.
I don't need an excuse to buy any more discs.
Well, I was going to say, so you're saying get a Corvette. It's going to be a little too stable for you, so run over it with a Corvette a few times, speed it in, and then you're going to get that nice, sexy Corvette S turn. So, hey, it all works out together, right?
There you go.
I see we have the same process for beating in our disc then.
Hopefully it's running over it with a car and not hitting a car with it. Both have happened in the past.
Well, and at that point you can it's two things at once. You hit the car and then they run over it, and you're like, all right, well, thanks very much. That's
right.
Yeah.
I get beat in a little bit too, depending on the situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What are you throwing mostly in your bag, Jeremy?
Right now I'm a bit of a gyro nut, I guess you could say, because I've got a lot of Axiom and MVP in the bag, but I'm still a mixed bag. I putt with EV7s, and I've joined the ambassador team with them this year. It was kind of a good match because I was already putting with them. I even went to the point, Jeremy, where I took 10 different putters and did 100 different putts from different angles and would record every putt and mix them up and do this whole process. And the EV7 came out on top, and then I never stopped putting with it after that. So have those in there. Nice. I've got some Innova Thought Space. Yes. I love, which is kind of like an MVP strain as well, but I love my mantra. It's kind of, that's my go-to disc. If I had one disc that I could have to play with, that would be the one for sure. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. And how many times, and I'm only saying this because I mean, definitely it didn't happen to me, but how many times have you tried a new putter and you say, oh man, this is the best one, and then you buy 5 of them, and then you go to putt the next week and they're not there, and you're like, why did I do this? Okay. And then you go and you try a different one, and you're like, all right, this is the one. So you do this. Now you have a collection of putters that you have lying around your house. So.
It's funny you say that, because for the longest time before I kind of found the Innova plastic and I decided to go all in on that, I swear down that if it's not a berg, then I don't even want to touch it. So I think I have 8 or 9 bergs, different different weights and different soft K1 everything. And I've recently started doing the putting challenge. There's an app, or it's a web-based app, but it's called Putts, Puttz, and it's from England, Croydon, somewhere.
Yeah.
And basically, you mark out 5 meters to 10 meters, and you start throwing 5 discs at 10 meters. And then if you make 1, then you go to 5 meters. If you make 2, you go to 6. 3 is 7, 4 is 8, or 8,
Yeah.
9 and 10. Sorry, but however many you make from each slot, you move backwards and forwards. You get 20 attempts throwing 5 putters. So I've recently been trying to do that again, and I've been putting with my zeros. And then I seen these bergs just laying on the ground, and I thought maybe I'll just pick them up and have another look. And I was draining putts all day, and I'm like, no, I cannot go back to bergs, even though it's always a berg.
If you look at the berg, you can almost see in the plastic there's like a little sad face. You're like, why are you abandoning me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
When we're on bergs, it's just kind of funny because we were talking about Travis Bouchard.
Yes.
He has I think it's a destroyer that somebody dyed a berg stamp on top of his destroyer. So when he throws it down the fairway, people, you threw a berg that far?
I didn't know he did that one. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy, this interview isn't about us. It's about you. And at the start of our interview, we'd like to find out how you got into disc golf. But on Chain Out, we don't just come out and ask you that. Instead, we create a totally fictitious origin story for you based on a movie. While you sit back and enjoy, our listeners will try and guess what movie the origin story is based on, and then we can see if I was anywhere, even in the vicinity of the truth. So sit back, and here we go. So, Jeremy, maybe you were a guitar player in your early days, a pretty good one if you said so yourself. But one day when you got to band rehearsal, they gave you the bad news. You were replaced. With newly found free time, you started disc golfing. You wanted so bad to combine the two hobbies and even learn to use a disc as a guitar pick. Neither activity was paying the bills, so with your charming personality, you got yourself a job as a substitute teacher. You decided to impart your disc golf wisdom on the kids through song, with the ultimate goal of training them to be future disc golf pro tour champions. Comedy ensued, and you did eventually get them to their first tournament, but it proved to be a long way to the top if you want to disc golf and rock and roll. Now, that can't be even close to how you got into disc golf, so why don't you tell us how it really happened?
So, did anybody tell you my past, and then you just fed that into like an AI machine, or did you write that up? There's a lot of truth behind that.
There may be a little bit of everything in that, I think.
Yeah, no kidding. I was in a band, and I was replaced. I wasn't replaced. I was just we kind of hit a certain point in at the band's career where in my career where we just decided it wasn't right anymore. So I was in a punk rock band, and but that didn't really lead me to disc golf, unfortunately. But that was kind of funny. But that led me to, I was going to grad school at the time, and at the same time, my buddy Ed Hill, he lives in Calgary now, invited me to join his ultimate team, which was kind of the ultimate part back there.
Right.
And our team name was called Team Rejected. Have you guys seen that video called Rejected? It's the weirdest video I've ever seen.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I want to say it rings a bell, but maybe not.
Yeah. I think it's by a guy named Don Hirschfeld. It's about a 10-minute clip. And I would say definitely it's not for the faint of heart. It's kind of like it's an animated thing, but it's about a person who slips into madness and stuff like that. So but I'm digressing. I do this a lot, but that got me into playing Ultimate for a while, and that got me to meet a whole bunch of really fun friends. And then we just decided, my same friend Ed actually got me 2 disc golf discs for my birthday one year. One was a Discraft Cyclone, and the other one was, I can't remember what the other one was called. I still have it. We got it, and I just never, they just kind of kept them on the shelf because I was more into Ultimate. And then finally we decided one day we were just going to go head to Rundle and just throw. funny story. When we hit Rundle, I don't know if it was an encampment or just people setting up a tent. There was a tent on hole 18, probably about 150 feet up up the fairway. And so we're sitting here going, so if we hit this tent, is it gonna be like hitting a swarm of bees and they're just gonna come up and chase us? Luckily we survived. And then we just kept playing, and then it just kind of, we started going out a little bit more and more. My friend Rich and I played. We started playing it a little bit more just for an excuse to go for a walk, and just play it just for fun. And then finally, my friend Matt Lysak decided to join us randomly. And Matt, I don't know if Matt's told you much about this, but basically Matt's like, yeah, you guys are into disc golf, right? And I'm like, yeah, great. Sounds good. And we were just waiting for him to call us, and we just kept ignoring him. And he really actually wanted to come out and play. So about half a year later, we finally brought him out. And anyway, that led to the three of us going and playing disc golf at Rundle quite a bit. And then that led us to going to Wetaskiwin and doing all that. And I can remember the first part where we were playing. Rich and I never really kept score. It was just an excuse to go for walk, have a drink and stuff like that. And Matt came out, and Matt said one day, he just said, so do you guys ever keep score? And we're like, no, we just come out for fun. Like, we just kind of throw, like, we got into that part where we ordered everything under the sun. Rich ordered I think it was a glow champ Firebird, and we were on hole 6, and we could not get that thing to turn over. And for the life of us, we're like, this is the dumbest game ever. Like, who throws a disc like this? And then just progressively we got better and better, and we started keeping score, and then things got more competitive. And then Matt started doing tournaments, and I started doing tournaments with Matt and Rich. And then that kind of was, I mean, if you're looking for the way I got into disc golf, that was kind of the way we did it. It was kind of fun. And that led into the three of us went on quite a few disc golf trips, probably once or twice. We've gone to the Northwest in the United States, landed in Seattle, drove down to Portland, and played all along there. If you ever have a chance to do that, please do. It's amazing.
Okay.
We drove through BC a couple of times. Just again, Southern BC. And then we just started playing tournaments a little bit more competitively. Went to the BC Open for the first time. Probably one of the coolest moments for playing disc golf was stepping out. We took our time driving out to BC or to Vancouver.
Yeah.
We ended up stopping I think we stopped in Kamloops and played.
Yeah.
There's another little course along the way, and then we got to Vancouver itself, and then made it to Raptors Knoll, which was the first year I ever played it. And it was just like, oh, okay, this is a really cool disc golf course. And then, after that, it just kept getting better and better. Then you end up in Cranbrook at Wycliffe. And there's always lots of fun things to look at. I was down in Alabama for a work trip, and I got a chance to play the Admiral course, which was a Ken Houck design. Is it Ken Houck?
Yeah.
But anyway, I had a chance to play that course randomly. Thank goodness, like, a buddy of mine wanted to try it. He just said he'd go for a walk, and it was really cool. Like, there's so many neat. You think a good course design, and then all of a sudden you go to a different place, and you're like, okay, this is how they do it down here. Neat. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway,
that is cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great getting into disc golf, and I guess it did tie in to a couple little things that maybe we learned. And I think for our listeners here, and we want you to help us with this part of the game, is that we're going to say 3 truths and a lie. If we were doing that with Jeremy Gauthier, I've got these 4 things here. Or Daryl, do you want to go for it?
No, you go ahead.
Go for it. Okay, so
don't give anything away.
Don't give anything away just yet, because it takes about 8 seconds for our listeners to hear what we're saying by the time it goes through the interweb there. But if we're playing 3 truths and a lie, and I said doctor, I said punk guitar player, I said extreme mountain biker, and I said nationally ranked junior squash player, what would they say might be the lie, if there was a lie in there?
Yeah.
What do you think, Daryl? Looking at that and knowing my wonderful research, what do you think? Would you have a guess?
So, a little bit behind the scenes, I know a little bird told you some of these things, and some of them are your own research.
Yes.
If I didn't know, I would look at those three things, and I would have to say, punk guitar player. We know he was in a band. We already got that one, so we know that's a truth. Nationally ranked junior squash player. I mean, that seems achievable. Extreme mountain biker. I mean, okay, now I think we might be pushing the boundary a little bit here. Doctor. I mean, doctor of what? It could be a
Doctor of love.
Doctor of love. Exactly. So, okay, so I would have to say maybe the extreme mountain biker was the lie.
And what's
If
Dylan
I didn't
say?
know, but we do have Greg in the chat here. He says the punk guitar is lies.
Okay.
Maybe Greg needs to pay a bit more attention. And then we have Dylan who says that squash is the lie.
All right, Jeremy, do the big reveal. Drum roll.
Okay. I'm going to delay it by about 3 seconds, just as you're asking.
Oh, we got one more
Okay.
maybe here. Oh, no. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The big one is extreme mountain biker. That was the big one. So I was a competitively ranked, I was a nationally ranked squash player when I was in my juniors. Punk guitarist, and then I've a doctor in chemistry. So
There you go.
yeah,
That's awesome.
I am an avid mountain biker. I would definitely say I've done some things to me that are extreme, but definitely not. The what is it called, the Red Bull hardline or whatever it's called.
Right.
So I wouldn't be caught doing that. But I've gone to bike parks, and I can do the blues and the greens, and I've tried a few black diamonds. But
Yeah.
Nice.
I've definitely got a big limit about that. So
I'd gotten out to Vancouver a few times thinking I was a mountain biker, and I went up Burnaby Mountain and realized very quickly that I was not a mountain biker. I was more of a cross-country mountain biker where I could have a couple of little pieces of single track, but when you're going across a tree and you're like 10 feet or 12 feet up off the ground, I'm like, this doesn't work. This isn't me.
I actually spent a year. Oh no, wait. Should we wait these? I don't. Maybe I should wait for these stories because you probably have a few more.
No, I think.
Well, you never know. Jeremy
well,
does his research.
No, I'm doing pretty good. I guess if anything, I was gonna say along these lines for you was I did try to do some digging on the punk side of that when I got that little tidbit whispered in my ear, and when I was looking on the World Wide Web, I couldn't find on Apple Music. I couldn't find anything like that. But I do want to know. Is there a couple copies of Lime, the Green Gears of Precision Punk still hanging around by any chance?
I think there were 15 copies made or something like that, and 15 or 20. And I think I have one copy. It was recorded in our high school gym one Sunday by, I think, one of our social studies teachers. And he knew a couple of the guys in the band, and he thought it'd be kind of fun because he wanted to try some music mixing. And there was another guy, another kid that wanted to produce it. So we thought it'd be kind of fun, and we called it was a fun experience. And I don't know if it was just the acoustics or if it was who knows. We called it Band in a Can because it definitely sounded like a band in a can. So it was kind of fun. It was really, really neat. And there is another. We did change our name at one point to a band name called the Red Hot Daggers.
Okay.
And so that was more kind of on the more hardcore part of it. And there is a CD out, but it never really was released. There's like one copy that went to editing and it never really made it out. So
well, I don't know, Jeremy, if you and I would have possibly crossed paths at those days. I don't know if the timing is right with it, but say 94, 95, I was kind of finishing up high school at that point, and I was a bit of a punk. And I remember heading down to like Spruce Hall by Kingsway Garden Mall. There was a record store where the back of it was just a warehouse, and the loading dock was where the bands would play, and we'd be on the concrete floor. And I was going to see bands, and I don't know, would we have crossed paths? Did you ever go and play, or were you at one of those shows possibly?
No, I don't think so. That would have been for me 98 to about 2004 or 5. But that sounds amazing.
It was good. We would go to the Dairy Queen, get a slush. The slush might be a little stronger by the time we got to the show. And then it was moshing and slamming the whole night. So
Oh, that's awesome. And you survived. You still got all your body parts and everything.
I do, and I could still use them to throw disc golf too.
I want to ask you what your influences was in the punk scene. I'm from England, so I didn't grow up in punk, but obviously I know that, bands like Why am I drawing a blank?
Sex Pistols?
Sex Pistols. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? It in all honesty, I listened to some punk, but it was because the guys in the band got me introduced to the music. So I kind of
Right.
got along with. So like some of the bands that I listened to a lot were MXPX, Chicks Dig It.
Hmm.
What were some other ones? Oh man, I can't. You put me on the spot, and I can't
I
think of
know.
it.
There you
But
go. That's what I thought.
but but I do know that some of the biggest albums that I listened to were Refused, The Shape of Punk to Come, and then
Gotcha.
At the Drive-Ins, is it Arsenal? No, what's the name of it? Relationship of Command.
Right.
That was a real game changer for me. That kind of helped. Yeah, that really brought me into more of the hardcore, post punk, whatever. People are going to roast me for classifying that, but
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, but it absolutely turned me around. It was great, but like a lot of SoCal punk, the Ataris were
Yeah.
another one that was a emo band, and so there's a whole collection to it that people just pass music down to me. And so
Yeah.
those are the ones that I kind of listened to. I actually was into ska, as everyone was in the '90s.
Yeah.
So those are
Some
some
No
other ones
Doubt
too.
and
So
Sublime and all of that. So,
oh yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah.
was it a full circle moment for you then when Matt was able to get the lead singer of Refuse onto the Parked Pro podcast and then finding out that he's a disc golfer as well?
I knew Dennis Lixian was I knew he was a disc golfer. Matt never said anything about uh he didn't say anything about having him on the podcast. Sometimes I have to ask him. He's good that way because I've listened to his podcast and all of a sudden I'm like, what? You got him on on the podcast? Okay. And he just sits back going, yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I got to meet my idol. Just like one of my heroes. So it was really kind of neat to see it. He works some strange magic. So I think he's actually going out to Vancouver to go see them in is it April or May, something like that. So it'd be kind of cool if he could, take Dennis out to Raptors Knoll and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
go play around with him. Wouldn't that be amazing?
It would be
Oh,
so
yeah.
cool. Yeah. To go
Yeah.
with like one of your, like
Yeah.
you said, one of your idols in music growing up and that. And
And
now,
you share a passion in something else as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah. You could definitely tell Matt nerded out a lot on that interview with him. So
We've had that with
Yeah.
Daryl here when we talked to Matt and Andre, he's like, can I ask you what camera you use? What lighting do you use? What microphone do you use? All the tech side. That was where Daryl was having his day.
Everyone's got their niche.
oh yeah, yeah. Are you a drone guy too, Daryl? Or
I have a drone or two. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anything technical.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
I'm a gadget guy as well. Yeah.
for sure.
Nice.
So, and also like when you come to that side, and this just kind of comes full circle, you and Matt are good buddies. You kind of fell into commentating a bit there. And with spring runoff coming up in May, I had wanted to get another look at Aperture and Nicholas Sharon. We played them last year, but it's always good just to see them again. So I pulled up that 2022 coverage, which was like early Parked Pro coverage. You and
Oh,
Matt
yeah.
are commentating that one. And in a Seinfeldism, it's gold, Jerry. It's gold. Because it was like, not only was it informative, but it was fun. It was funny. You guys were having a good time. And it's just like being good friends as you are. The rapport was great. So when it came to that, did it take some coaxing and stuff, or were you on board right away to say, yeah, that's right up my alley. I want to do that?
You know what? We would sit and talk about disc golf all the time when we drove to tournaments. And so when he asked me, when he asked me to do commentary, we've always been kind of that, yeah, if you need me to help you out with anything, just give me a call and I'll be there for you. And so that was when he called, I'm like, yeah, this would be kind of an interesting thing to give to try out. And he said, yeah, it's fine. Just, it's kind of like our regular conversations, just lots of people listening after that. So, yeah, it was nice. We were both a little bit like, both of us have a bit of a drama background as well.
Okay.
So it's nice it's not that, it was nice once the ball got rolling, it was nice and easy to do that. The toughest part was just getting started and figuring out like you watched Nate Sexton and Jeremy Colling, and they were in the zone the whole way. Like
Yeah.
you could tell that they just had that relationship with each other that just made them just a great pairing to listen to.
Yeah.
And they both brought something different to the table. And as Matt and I started commentating on it, it was just kind of fun. We just thought, you know what, let's just commentate on it, just see what happens, and if it never works again, then or if it doesn't work, we'll just try it again.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome.
yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and it was great. It was great to commentate on courses that I've played, because I there are some time, like I've done some stuff on the Manitoba Provincials and the Gold Eagle,
Yeah.
which, like, I really want to go out and play those courses, and because it sounds like a really good time, and it's also, the courses look really fun. And but when it comes to, trying to describe what kind of shot you want to make, you're kind of limited in. Matt could provide the better context as to what kind of shot. But I'm like, should I have thrown a turnover here, or should I have thrown an S line or something? So that's the part for me where it feels like you kind of have a bit of a disconnect, but it works out well because we both kind of fill in for each other, at specific points. So, and
Yeah, exactly.
Matt is a natural conversationalist as well too. So it's not what do I want to say? When I feel like I run out of words, he's pretty good about jumping in and
He's right
taking
there.
over it.
Yeah. No, every great commentary duo has to have that balance, right? So if you complement each other in that regard, that's awesome. One thing I wanted to share, somebody in our chat, Sam, who's a long time listener here, wanted to share something that maybe it was just an off the cuff comment that you made, but something that sank into him. He said, this might be a deep cut, but one time Jeremy missed a putt on Park Pro coverage, called it laying up long or the Gauthier maneuver, and I routinely reference that in my own game. So something that you just said, has made it into the common vernacular of somebody, one of our listeners out there on the course as well. So,
Oh, that's amazing. Sam, I appreciate that.
yeah.
Well, when you're going for a putt and you just kind of you kind of feel like as you're extending, you're like, it's not gonna make it. You just kind of pull back a little bit at the end and just lay it up.
What's your favorite part about commentating? Is it sitting next to Matt and just having that conversation, or is it you get to watch disc golf and you get to talk about it at the same time? Like, what's the part you look forward to most?
Oh, yeah. I think it's looking at, I think it's just watching the tournaments as it unfolds. So sometimes I've been on coverage, sometimes I haven't been, and you just don't get to see that part of the tournament. So, let's say I'm not on lead card, or I'm not being covered, and there's someone ahead of us, and you hear something, you hear something about what happened during a round, and you're like, man, I just want to see what's going on. And on what happened to this person on lead card, and it just, all of a sudden you see it and you're like, oh, okay, I see how this works.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the number of times I've been on lead card where my game has not been like, I'll shank a shot or I'll do anything like that. In the first, the Big Bear coverage, I think I was on feature card, and on hole 18, I absolutely shanked it off to the right into the deep stuff. And I remember Matt was running back. I was getting pretty frustrated at that point. And I remember at one point I just walked down there and I just didn't say anything. I just put my marker down, threw it out onto the fairway as I was watching Matt run down the bank to get a shot of me pitching out. And I was like, oh, sorry. And he goes, yeah, just let me know about that next time so I don't have to climb down this hill. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, but it's also really cool to watch because there's a lot of young talent or just new talent coming up every time. I've had a chance to play with a lot of them, and those that I haven't seen, it's really cool to see. Like, we have some bombers in this province, and just some really good players. Like, I had a chance to play with Gavin Beamish final round at the Thunder Toss, and he's very good. He was quite good. He just he swept the floor with everybody, and he just did it so consistently, and it's neat to see that he's one of those guys that's going to be up and coming. So there's a whole bunch of different aspects, but I think it's more of just seeing the action, seeing what happened and all that.
Yeah.
You see someone take a big number, you just wonder, how did that happen? And then you see it, and you're like,
exactly.
Okay, well, how do you? It's fun watching the reaction to it, as well as, well, not to the person that it's happening to, but it's just kind of like, oh yeah, how do you look at stuff like that?
It's kind of good to listen to your coverage when you're on the card, because you see the 4 tee shots from the tee. And then when you get up to the green, you're like, how did you end up down there? Like, how did that happen? But watching it back on coverage, you get that catch cam, view, and you're like, oh, we didn't even see it hit that stump and it rolled away. And it kind of makes more sense than when you can piece the two parts of the shot together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, exactly. Well, and I know definitely I had a few little tantrums during a few of the tournaments, and you go and do commentary or you go and watch coverage, and you're like, oh, this is going to be really embarrassing. And it's sometimes it comes out and sometimes it doesn't come out as much. I think my foot slipped during a putt once, and I was like, and I was like, oh, it's on coverage, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
But you're buddies with the editor. Surely you can be like, okay, just maybe.
Oh,
just
he's
cut
going to
that
definitely
piece.
put
He'll
that
keep
piece
it
in.
oh, yes. If it's one thing that I've learned is that nothing is safe with Park Pro. So
There you go.
they keep you honest in a good way. So.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy,
Yeah.
as you guys were developing your commentating that, and you kind of mentioned a couple of famous commentators there in the disc golf world, who would you model yourself after? Do you think you're a Yuli? Are you a Big Germ? Are you a Nate Sexton? Are you somebody else? If it was somebody you could commentate, like, who would it be?
Oh, I have no idea.
We
Man.
hit you with the hard hitting questions here.
It's
on
a
Chain Out.
hard hitting question. They're all really good and they're all really knowledgeable, and they all, it's just they have so much experience so that they can talk on any point. And I'd like to say it would be cool to think that you're up on that, the upper echelons of the Colings and the Sextons. I don't know. I'd probably say I'm more random, like Jeremy Coling. He says a few kind of random things every once in a while. So maybe like him, but I've got a ways to go.
Well, and as you said with the camera thing, it's one of those things. I saw a recent post there with Big Germ, and there was it was a post of him talking on the podcast or something like that, and he didn't realize that they still had the camera running. He thought they were done, and he got up to leave, and he was just wearing his shirt half done up.
Right.
Did you see that? And he's got his belly hanging out. He's like, "What? We're still on it." He could have been doing it on purpose, but it played really funny. It was good. That's just the kind of guy that random stuff. But
Oh, absolutely. Oh, man.
Well, and Jeremy, not only do you commentate, and like you said, you've been on coverage, I got a chance to work with you in a great piece of entertainment that was put together by Matt when he suggested we do a Team Lizac video. You were right there to help, and I got a small taste of what that fun of Park Pro is like. And we're not going to play the whole thing, but I got a nice little clip just featuring the Jeremy Gauthier to cue up. And we're not going to cue it up, are we, Daryl? No, I didn't give Daryl enough time.
we did look at it, but it was not correct. It wasn't.
Daryl's looking at me. He's like, "What are you saying?"
Yeah, I thought we discussed this, Jeremy.
But that was a great time when we put that thing together in that video, and I think we got to get that back out because we played it during the interview with Matt and Andre. But Matt put together a great piece of work. You get a cameo in there, and it's just. It was hilarious.
I forget which episode it was, but
it was Matt and Andre's.
Oh, it's the Matt and Andre episode, of course. Yeah. So
I can tell you. I can tell you exactly which one. I think it's either episode 23 or 32. I went back and I was actually because before I came on the podcast, I've listened to a few of them before, but I'm like, oh, it's been a while since I've listened to a Chain Out podcast. I better just see exactly what was going on. And but it was, I remember seeing there's like a bunch of shorts where you guys are like, hey, coming up on the Chain Out podcast, guess who our reveal is?
Yes.
That kind of thing. So, yeah. So you guys have done some pretty fun stuff with that. So,
when the weather's nicer, we get outside and we try and put some stuff together.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great. No, it's fun and you got to have fun with it. And it seems like you guys have that right kind of chemistry and, the right ideas to make the podcast go really well. So.
Yeah, like we always say we kind of have that Ernie and Bert or that Statler and Waldorf or something like that going on.
Now that would be funny. If you guys could somehow get on Park Pro as the Stadler and Waldorf guys, where you can if they're on the final hole and someone makes a bad shot, you guys can just have a quick clip of you guys going, well, that wasn't bad. It was all bad.
Yeah.
I don't like where this is going.
I love it.
People have too many ideas.
Got two old guys sitting on hole 18 heckling. I love it.
Yeah.
Man, I think we do need to talk a little more, Jeremy. This is like gold again that we could put together.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. That'd be so good.
Well, you know what? One of the other things too, Jeremy, if we could flash back a bit, was like Daryl and I are pandemic golfers. You know, we kind of started there, but as we talk to more and more people who have been playing from before, there's some interesting things we're finding out. And we know that a lot of the people playing now, the majority, probably 50-50, it's probably pandemic versus before that. We talked to Rebecca Johnson and Noah Higgins. They had told us that they were playing long enough ago that when they started going to Falcons Flight, it was a 30-person C tier at that time.
Yeah.
And that was, we were like, what? This is a tournament that it shows up. And if you don't register in 60 seconds, you're on a wait list. So just the way things have changed.
Yeah.
And I guess my question to go with that is just, is there anything like that you can remember from back when you started to now where you're like, wow, we've come a long way, even just in, say, the Alberta area and stuff?
Yeah. I you know what? My first tournament was the Night Owl at Rundle Park. And I wasn't even, I think we enrolled either the night before or the morning of. It was like a last minute decision, and Wally was running the tournament. And we're like, can we register? He goes, oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, just throw your name in the hat. And like, it was just such like it was a really cool thing where it's just like, all right, well, you want to do it? All right. We only have, the divisions weren't very big. And it's just like but it was really well put together. It was just like a bunch of people that really liked each other went out and played disc golf, which was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Things that have changed since the pandemic. Yeah. Definitely the tournaments. And it's interesting now because now you have a little bit of some tournaments. Now you have a bit of wiggle room to get into. But yeah, I remember trying to get into Big Bear and BC Open, and you miss it by 5 seconds. I think even one year there was a glitch or something that just all of a sudden too many people just trying to get in at once. And I would be surprised how many times disc golf scene crashed because people are trying to log in. I don't know if you guys did the same, but when I'm logging into these big tournaments, they used to, I don't know if they still do, but at the bottom of the screen they show how many people are online, and right before a tournament sign up shows up, you could see the number of people ramping up, and then your heart rate starts going a little bit more. And so then it goes, and you're just like, yeah. So you just try to get through it as much as possible, and then it sends you back to the top because you made an error because you weren't in. You said you weren't in Canada, or you didn't want to register for MPO. Anyway, I'm rambling on, but that's one of the big things is doing that. I think digital scoring was just that was a huge advance for tournaments, because like how fun is it now? You feel like you're playing a high level pro event where you can see how everyone's doing in real time if you choose to do it.
Yes.
I think that's really neat. I think that's really cool. There's a lot of other disc golf companies that are out. They've all tried different things. Plastic has changed. Like you said, MVP they've really upped their game. I don't know. I feel like those are sort of the main things for me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I couldn't, because we've been around with UDisc and stuff, Daryl, I don't know what it would have been like of like, where are the courses? And you just had to know where they were. And as you said, you weren't keeping score, but there might not have been, you had to keep it on your phone or on a piece of paper or something. Like there wasn't necessarily UDisc there probably always to just do it for you.
Or even when you show up to a brand new course and you find the hole 1, you got to find out where hole 2 is.
Oh, getting lost on a course.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not always. It's not exactly.
Can I give a suggestion? Ahead. So when you first played Rundle Park, were you able to play all 18 holes, or did you just play the front 4? And then you ended up on the back, whatever, starting on hole 13 and then made it to 18. And then as you're driving away, you're like, oh, there's the rest of the course right there.
Right. No, I think I've talked about it before when I think I must have had UDisc, but I kind of preempted on hole 7, the long par 4. I kind of looked at UDisc and I was like, okay, it's straight up this way through my drive. And then I seen a basket. I'm like, okay, that's the basket I'm going for. And I was actually playing to 10's basket. I didn't even think.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. without. And I think I did that once, and then came around and played a second time, but somebody was on hole 10. So I'm like, what are they doing? Why are they on my basket? Why are they on my hole? And then they kind of redirected me. But yeah, it's not exactly what's the word I'm looking for? Like laid out. Like,
laid out for you, I guess.
Yeah.
There you
sure,
go.
we'll go with that.
Yeah, like that Ultimate podcast I was supposed to be on, but
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
but the other part that I found interesting was getting back
Intuitive.
to disc manufacturers.
You got it.
Sorry.
You got there eventually. Good
Sorry.
job there, Waldorf.
No, you know what? I have. That was bad. That was all bad. We had where was I getting at? I used to have a conversation with a buddy in grad school, and we'd have 5 conversations in a day, different ones, but we never streamlined one at a time. They would be in pieces. And so at one point we joked that, you'd start one and then you'd move on, you'd go for coffee, and then you'd start the next one, and then you do another one, and then you have lunch, and all of a sudden one of us would bring up the first topic, and we're like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And then at the end of the day, you close it off, and you're just like, it feels like you've got small projects that you just kind of, you're very slow. You eventually put together a coherent, conversation.
Yeah.
It just takes a while to go.
Yeah, it's about the same.
That's about right.
You know what's interesting about the disc manufacturers? It's the big thing in thinking now is the resurgence of discraft. I think that's one of the big things the pandemic really brought back, and I know it's talked about on lots of podcasts and stuff like that, but it's quite amazing how much it surged back, because it used to be just a brand that some people just, they'll keep 1 or 2 discs around here and there of them. Or you've heard of Nate Doss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then, all of a sudden Discraft has all this new plastic, and it was such a good move to pick up. Well, this might be a dumb quote, but it was such a good pickup to pick up Paul Macbeth and to get that going, because man, it was almost like they had that in the wings.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden everything's back, and all of a sudden now everybody that started pandemic, not everyone, sorry, I'll probably take that back, but the number of people that play with Discraft discs is just all of a sudden, if someone would have told me before the pandemic that the number of people before Paul Macbeth moved over to Discraft that these guys would be super popular, I don't know if I would have believed them. They make great Ultimate discs, but Innova was always the big one for me. So
yeah, I think you're right. I think it was that magic in a bottle, whatever you want to call it, that they got just at the right time. They signed the biggest player when the sport was reaching its pinnacle, if you want to call it that. Mm-hmm. So, all these brand new people were getting into the sport. They look to see who the best player is. Oh, he's throwing Discraft. Let's go after that. Like, I do wonder now. I mean, I know we're starting to see the decline. I don't know if I'd say decline, maybe a plateau of disc golf and the amount of people in it. And we've seen it with Simon getting the big contract, all these people getting Ricky leaving his contract, things like that. The amount of talent that it seems like Discraft has right now, like you look at the any weekend, they've got 7 or 8 players in the top 10. You think that's quite a depth of team that they have. Can they sustain that? Like, now we're starting to see the disc golf world kind of settle down a bit, and we spoke to Max last week or the week before about Casey. It's now settling back down to kind of what it was before. It's not necessarily declining. It's just kind of settling back down to where it was. Now, all these contracts that got paid out, all these plastics became popular, everything eventually, and maybe in the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, it'll settle out. And then I want to see where everything lies at that point, because I still don't think we're kind of settled at the moment. Things are still a little bit off kilter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It'll be kind of interesting to see where the sponsorship thing goes. There has to be some, it'll be interesting to see what the next big innovation is that drives people to come out and play tournaments. I don't know if it's just picking up a ridiculously big sponsor or a network picking them up. They tried to do that with, I think it was the DDO. So it'd be interesting. I know there was big news about, there's a couple of professional disc golfers that are going out to, is it called the World Games or something? It's
out in Chengdu, China.
Yeah, it's like the don't call it the Olympics. So
Yeah.
anything that wasn't in the Olympics, yeah. So it's neat to see that there's now professionals getting involved in that as well. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll
yeah,
be great. Well, and speaking
yeah,
of getting involved back in the sport again, we did look, and we now know from talking with you that having a new son would probably have dampened the amount of times you were able to get out and compete. And last year you were out to 3 tournaments, like 3 sanctioned tournaments. The highest you got to was about 10. So now that we're into 2025, are you starting to eye tournaments again? Or are you just going to play casually? Or what is MPO Jeremy Gauthier going to do this year?
yeah. MPO Jeremy Gauthier got very humbled last year, so it was pretty fun. No, I'm looking at Thunder Toss this year was one. I want to play around the Edmonton area, so if I can get to definitely the Edmonton Open, if I can play the River City, that would be nice. I mean, you guys are probably in the same boat. It's long weekends now have a bit more significance to them. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and unfortunately, a lot of the big tournaments are on long weekends. So, um, those are So I'll try and play some ones around here. Looking at Drayton Valley or Big Bear. Big Bear is such a great tournament.
Yeah.
But I've heard that Drayton Valley might be picking up a few more holes. I hear there's
Oh.
another bit of I kind of heard that through the grapevine, so I'm hoping that they're right. So yeah, the Night Owl might be an interesting one to check out this year.
Mhm.
So I'm humming and hawing between the two of those. Um, and then there's always I always keep a couple in the back of my mind. BC Open is definitely not a. I'd love to go to BC Open. That's always been a favorite of mine. Um, but the big ones and Falcon's Flight, of course, would be another one as well.
Yeah.
But the big one that I always like going to is the Kootenay Up and Down. So I missed that one last year.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you guys been out to the Cranbrook courses at all?
No.
I
Well,
haven't.
the closest I've got, and I kind of bring it up as often as I can because it's a great course that Matty Riordan, I think, had designed. Was it Matty or
Yeah.
was it? Yeah. Was Nipica. Did he do that
Oh
one?
yeah,
Yeah.
I have not played that yet, but I've heard nothing but good things. There's a lot of good courses now, from what I've heard, being all the way up, and I don't know what highway that is, but they go going through
Yeah, is it
Invermere all the way down to Cranbrook.
93 or something like that? But yeah,
Yeah,
so that one is at the very start. That's right before you get to Radium. And then
yeah.
what I'm thinking Daryl and I need to do, and I don't know if you've had a chance to do that with Matt going to visit Andre or something like that, but to go from there, work your way down, get out to Wycliffe, and then Casey and Max and everybody that we've talked to is in that area. They say if once you play Wycliffe, head a little further south and hit Caliber, and you've made yourself an amazing disc golf trip.
Oh, where's Caliber?
Just across the border in Idaho is where it
Oh,
is.
really?
Yeah, and
Oh,
apparently it's kind of getting quite high on UDisc as a world top course.
oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the pointer, because like how far is Cranbrook from the border? It's got to be
Not
somewhere.
far. I think maybe an hour or something like that. Like I've been through
Yeah,
it once, but it was on a trip to Vancouver years ago. So I need to get
right.
out there and see some of these courses because like when you've got Casey coming out of there, you've got young Mason Howard coming out of there.
Yeah.
Max is over there. Who else is out there? Ben
You got-
Loggins.
Hey, Ben. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got all of these great players. It's not just something in the water. It's probably the courses that they're playing on as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and I mean, if you played Wycliffe, you have to have a bomber game, and you have to have a bomber game with touch as well too.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah. I was thinking of what Jeremy said earlier about that him and Matt got a chance to once a summer get to go out on these nice good road trips and play all these different courses and all that. I was thinking the same thing when you were mentioning about that trip.
Yes.
We talk every year in the spring about which tournaments we're going to play, and we kind of, that's where our kind of focus is at the moment, about hitting these tournaments that maybe are a little bit further away. But
yeah.
a nice summer road trip, hitting up a couple courses over a week is not a bad
Yeah.
idea, Jeremy.
Take instead of a long
yeah.
weekend as a tournament, maybe take a long weekend plus
Yeah.
a day and just do a road trip. And you could still create your own tournament with you and your buddy or your buddies type thing and
Yeah.
put a couple bucks on the line or a couple beers or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think when we went, we had a pink cowboy hat that went on whoever lost. And then the other one, when we were in the States, we won I think we found what's the Seattle football teams?
The
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
We found a Seahawks toque that we had to wear. So I think it was like whoever won or whoever lost had to wear it. It was that thing got so gross. By the end, it was so bad. It's just like,
Especially in the
yeah.
heat,
Yeah,
hey, in the
exactly.
hot
I
sun,
can
and
imagine.
everybody wearing that
it
thing.
it was warm when we were down there. It was pretty gross.
Well,
If you guys ever have a chance to make it up to the Rossland area, the Thin Air disc golf course, I lived in that area for a year, and I moved away, and then they built this disc golf course there. But it was, I think it's right on top of their cross country ski tracks. But apparently
okay.
that's a lot of fun to go to. So
Right.
that's been on my list. They have a tournament that's late in October.
Oh yeah.
That's after I think it's after Kootenay Up and Down sometime in October. But that's on one of my bucket list trips to make it out to as well. So
Right.
Oh.
Is there,
Yeah.
if you had to have one tournament, is there like a bucket list tournament that you're kind of looking forward to, or you haven't played yet? Is there somewhere where you'd like to go and play?
yeah, I'd love to go down to the States. I've heard there's some good ones in Montana.
Right.
Um, I couldn't tell you which ones, but it was just in talking. There's that one. I'd love to go play Canadian Nationals. I actually signed up last year, but or the year before. There's a couple of years I signed up for it, but had to back out.
Right.
That would have been a lot of fun to go check out. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many. There's a lot.
Yeah. Take
Yeah,
your
the
pick.
Harvest Huck was good. I know I said it on the Gold Eagle coverage, but I really want to make it out to the Gold Eagle because that does sound like a lot of fun.
That course
Um,
looks tough too, like that, the rolling hills and such. The beach course, maybe that's more of a technical one, but just the arm and the elevation and the side hills
Yeah.
of the main course, that looks. I want to play it, or I want to go and watch someone play it. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the one up in the Yukon. That one also looked really
Yeah.
cool to me.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So,
That would be a
yeah.
bucket list one, I think.
that's for
Yeah.
sure.
There,
Well, Jeremy-
there was
Oh,
a
go
disc
ahead.
golf tournament. Sorry, there was a disc golf tournament on this when we first started playing. Apparently, there was a tournament on Pender Island. So some of
Oh.
the courses on the West Coast, and we always joked about it because I think they called it the Bender on Pender, and we always thought, man, that would be a lot of fun to just go to Pender Island and play disc golf because I still haven't played that course.
Right.
I would love to go and play that one because it does sound magical. So
Well, when we had Chris Hartman on the show, he didn't touch too much on the whole Pender Bender aspect of it, but he did end
Yeah.
up getting a piece of property there and building a cottage on Pender Island. So he played a lot of early disc golf on there. So that was
Yeah.
cool to hear him talk about that. But
oh, no kidding.
we're kind of getting towards the end of the time here, though, Jeremy. And so,
Oh, yeah.
as we're talking about the different courses to play, I was talking at the very beginning there of just a small little course out in Bonnyville. And
Yeah.
one of the holes that Brendan's put on that course, it's a little bit, I'm kind of making it up, Daryl, because it's not really uphill. I think I was maybe this far downhill. But as you're shooting up at it, it's a little short hole. It's got rocks all around it. And he's done really good on the tee signs to say, putting the rocks around here is almost like a mandatory of sorts. You can play it that way, or you can just play it however you want. So, of course, I was playing it that way, and then I was trying to land it on the island. And as we get to islands, Daryl,
See, he's so good at this, Jeremy.
Now it's time for desert island discs. Picture this. You've taken a relaxing cruise, however the ship goes down. You manage to swim to an island, and fortunately for you, there's an 18-hole disc golf course. Which 3 discs are you taking with you on the island?
He writes it down. We have a script, kind of a loose outline that we go through. I see it written down, and he gets me every week with his segues of how he's going to get into this section of the podcast. So, yeah, you've listened to it before.
Yeah.
The section of the show where we want to find out if you had to take 3 discs, or you could only take 3 discs with you to this desert island, which 3 discs would they be?
Sure, I've got them with me. I brought
Awesome.
them down just because might as well.
Yeah.
I have. You want a driver? So I have an infinite disc Pharaoh. It's
Okay.
well beat in. So which is kind of fun. It's got a neat little stamp on it too. So
Right.
yeah, I've thrown this one crazy. It's really good into the wind. I have an MD1 from
Okay,
yeah.
which I really like.
Yeah.
Really nice. I don't have a really strong forehand, and it's a nice touch. When you go to tournaments and you go to tournaments and you just feel like nothing's working, and you pull this thing out and
I know that
just things
feeling.
start to click. Yeah. this one this one came out, and it just, I was like, if I just had to throw this one the whole tournament, I'd be very happy with it.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
good.
funny you mentioned the thought space, because I'm a big Praxis guy. So
Oh,
Right.
gotcha.
yeah, sad that I missed the ancient turtle stamp from last year, but yeah, I really randomly bought it at randomly bought one at United Cycle, thinking it'd just be kind of a fun one to look at, and then 7 or 8 discs later, here I go. So it was perfect.
Yeah.
But
So
do we?
any particular blend of plastics in those ones?
I like the Aura. This is the Aura for Thought Space.
Yeah.
I do like the S line. I like S line for Discmania, but I have
Right.
a the C line
C-line.
ones. And then I actually have no idea. This is like a metal flake.
Is it eye blend?
No, it's not iBlend. It's
No.
more of like their champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit more stable than their iBlend or their S blend, I think.
Is it? Okay.
So yeah.
Perfect.
But I snuck another one in
Go for
to
it.
the island.
There's no rules.
Ready? Okay, good. See, look, I just ready. Oh, there we go.
I was a little worried where you were hiding it.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, I was. It's a very good point.
We can all take a breath.
I should think about this before executing. We were just talking about Jeremy Colling.
Yeah.
I love it.
This is. I was debating between actually this one and
Hawkeye?
this one and the Pharaoh.
Yeah.
The Hawkeye it's amazing. It's just it's a point and shoot disc. If you guys are
Right.
looking for an Innova disc to try out, this is, if you're looking for like for me, like at Wycliffe or even at Sundry, when just things aren't flying right, this one just always goes straight for me. Maybe a little bit of
Yeah.
fade at the end, but always works. So
Right.
but I do have one, and this is just kind of a funny one that I brought out.
Go for it.
I won't bring this one to it, but I have a Roadrunner. Funny thing that you mentioned it.
Yeah.
It's a factory second. Do you want to
Yeah.
guess the weight on this thing?
Factory second.
Factory
So
second Roadrunner.
it's a lightweight Roadrunner.
Yeah.
We bought this, and
Well,
I'll give you a
it's-
hint. We bought this for fun because we saw this on the factory second website, and we're like, this is too crazy not to buy.
I'm going to say 147 is my guess. What about you, Daryl?
Well, it's funny you say that because I had a few discs that didn't have the stamp, that Excal that you
Yeah.
found in the river. I didn't know what weight it was, so I weighed it. And I weighed a couple other discs that I had that I've picked up through disc swaps and everything like that. And I actually had a Blizzard, I had a Blizzard Champion Wraith.
Okay.
And the Blizzard Champion is kind of similar to the Fission plastic. It has
Oh,
the
of
micro
MVP.
bubbles
Yeah,
in
yeah.
it. And I weighed it, and it was 138.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if
Yeah.
my scales were accurate or not, but
So what's
so
your
if you're
guess?
saying that's
Yeah.
lightweight, yeah, then I'm gonna say it's around. I'm gonna say 145 then, just to be plus or minus
But-
Jeremy.
How stable was that disc?
You know what? I haven't thrown it that much, and I've only just it's a Wraith, and I've only just started getting back into it again, so I don't really know.
Okay. Yeah, there's some
If-
discs in, like, they can be light, but they can be pretty stable for a lightweight disc, which is kind of a neat one to look at.
Right.
So yeah. This is a 126.
Wow.
So you could throw it on hole 7. You could throw it on a steep hyzer. It'll still flip over and on its front. Like, it'll still flip right over
That's
and
crazy.
land on its on the top, on the ground. It's a pretty fun disc, and we always thought this would be kind of a fun one, just to, if you're caught in a tree
Yeah.
and you need to flick to get out of so you can't go full force.
Right.
You just need like a little touch like that, and it has a surprising amount of glide for like the little flick that you give it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So-
pretty cool. There's always a spot
Yeah.
for those lightweight discs for sure. I've been throwing a lot. I've been throwing a lot more of them. Nothing that light, but more in like mainly because I don't see them, but in that 150, 160.
Yeah.
I'll throw some of those for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And-
You can definitely see the utility of them.
Yeah. Then there's one extra section that we've added onto this as well. If you could transport one 18-hole golf course onto this island, that's the only course you could play from now until you get rescued. Which course would you take there?
Oh man, Uh, I would
It's
probably
tricky.
take. I know. I would probably take Raptors Knoll with me.
Really?
Okay.
It would
Okay.
take probably take a few helicopters. It's it's a very tight race. I would like I'd go anywhere from if you look at the second place ones, I would probably go if you're just talking about the Canadian ones, like Wycliffe. I would Wetaskiwin. The
Yeah.
Wetaskiwin
Yeah.
course is up there as well too. Like
Really? Yeah.
it's it has so much potential, and it
Oh
just
yeah, I
but
love it.
it's every I like the ones where you can get yourself. Actually, you know what? I would say there'd be a tie between that and Bailey's Crossing. Bailey's Crossing would be the one
Yeah.
I would play.
Bailey's been
I,
put together so well.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting to bring that one up. Yeah, it's luckily for me it's 25 minutes from my house. So it's for me it's great because then you
Yeah.
can just kind of quickly hop out, play, and then come back. And there's not it's not a lot of people out there. It's well maintained.
Yeah.
You're out there at night sometimes just trying to chase the sun
Yeah.
and run away if potentially any coyotes out there or anything
Right.
like that. So,
Yeah. We've recent.
no, but I would. Let's go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say we've recently been getting back into some course reviews that we used to do. We did them early on in the podcast. We started to get back into them again after a 7.5 month layoff.
From the last one.
We just did Wetaskiwin again. So we've done Bailey's, Rondo, Hermitage. We did Wetaskiwin. We've done a few of the other smaller 9 holes as well. And Bailey's is our number one, and Wetaskiwin is our number two. So we totally agree with you there.
Yeah, Wetaskiwin's great, and when they at some point it was manicured nicely, but at some point there was a ramp up. Like there was there was a lot of stepping up to make sure the fairways were groomed and all that. And it's one of those courses. It's like Bailey's. If you hit the fairway, you play pretty good.
Yeah.
But the goal is you get a few birdies, but then you have to hold on for your life, or else you're going to enter bogey town, and all of a sudden you're not going to get back. It messes with your brain.
Yeah. It's
So-
a lot. It's trickier than it looks.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah,
be a
for
full.
sure.
I like that full-time resident of Bogeytown.
Yeah. Oh man, bogey town's not a great place to be. Shops are closed up, but it's so welcoming.
Love it.
But I do have to. I mean, it's a tough one. Like even Aspen Meadows, like I mean, we're in Falcon. Is it West? Their champion course. I would take that one in a heartbeat too. There's just so many good courses, really.
Yeah.
It really.
So-
yeah. We're lucky that way. We do have a lot of great courses in the province for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Well, Jeremy, we appreciate you coming on the podcast. And before we let you go, we've covered a ton of topics. But if there's anything that we missed or something that you wanted to shout out, we wanted to give you a minute to do that before we let you go.
well, thank you guys for having me on the show. It was pretty fun. It's been a lot of fun. And thanks to the folks in the chat who've been, contributing. I've seen Dylan's been talking a lot in there, so that's good. Family and friends have just been great. They've been great for just going along, watching. My father-in-law he watches disc golf. He's into it more than I am. My mom follows it religiously, which is great. My wife Jill has been absolutely phenomenal just for being able to go out and do that. And just, it's, I don't know. You can sort of say thanks to everybody, really, friends and family and all that. It's just, I don't know. It's a great time to be alive,
There you go.
There you go. That's awesome, Jeremy.
So,
Well, and I think too is we probably have to find out if there's any more room on this very exclusive Team Lizac to maybe get Daryl
I know.
ahead and get him in there. Because, that way when we start going to our team practice events and we start getting our skills ready to take down all of those other teams, you and me and Matt and the others, maybe Daryl can come and be part of it. We'll have to see if that's a possibility.
well, Daryl, I think you need to get the stretching done. You need to get the warm-up
How's
done
your
correctly.
forehand berg roller?
Yeah.
When you mentioned that you're a bird guy, I'm like, how are you not on Team Lizac already? It is.
Awesome.
I have to say the watching that. I don't throw a berg, but watching what people can do with a berg is amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and everyone comes up with all sorts of creative ways to do it.
Yeah. We played the Edmonton Disc Golf Association put on a one disc berg. What did they call it? Alberga.
It was Alberga last year.
Yeah, we played out at
Yeah.
Niskapasquak. It was a one disc round. And we were
Yeah.
amazed because we were shooting pretty much the same scores we shoot with our whole bag as just with just the Berg. So
Yeah.
it's an underrated disc.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much fun you can have with one disc. It's just, yeah. It's
It
pretty
does
fun.
it does make you rethink your whole disc buying strategy.
Yes.
Do I really need all of
Oh.
these discs?
I know. And then you end up in a tournament or you're out playing and you're like, that's why I need this disc for this
Yeah.
one particular shot.
That
Only if
you
I
go-
get caught in the trees.
You got to have
Yeah.
that. That's why we have carts, because we need a space for a 127-gram
Roadrunner.
Roadrunner.
I haven't seen these. You guys have like license plates on your carts?
Well, yeah, we just got these Zuka plate carts, and Daryl he's gonna put his on there eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. From Goat Towel, you can customize the top and the middle line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can, and then on the bottom, he's kind of copied not copied, but did a pun on the Ontario disc golf, on the Ontario license plate. Ontario, yours to discover. So Ontario, yours to disc over. And then what did we say? Because Alberta is wild. Yeah, I wanted to put wild throws country on,
Nice.
on it for us.
Nice.
but-
That's got to be that. You've got to have that on a tournament somewhere, right?
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
for sure.
So,
Well,
well,
awesome.
I'll have to say, I was looking at that bag you guys were giving away.
Yes.
First, the bag you guys are giving away. There's some
Yeah.
good discs in there. The Warship,
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
disc.
Worship, a
and then
pig.
and
then a brave.
and that mini looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
Kevin Topping, he does a little bit of woodworking. So he makes these, and he did these for us, and he said, "Here, hand these out, maybe mention my name," and we're like more than happy to, because they're so cool. They could
Here, hold
actually
on.
work
Can
as
you-
a coaster as well.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, take that mini and
Yeah.
push that towards my side. Push it towards my side.
Okay.
Ready?
Oh.
No, there you go.
Oh.
There we go. There we go. Oh.
Calm down. Calm down.
Oh, I missed it. Darn. I was hoping that
Gotcha.
was going to work.
Next time.
No, those are amazing. So if you have any way to get a hold of those, let me know, because I would love to get my hands on one of those.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Well, I think we might be able to make that happen.
I think we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Jeremy.
Awesome.
We appreciate it. We'll catch you on the course for sure. And
Yeah,
it'll be a good time.
Thanks for your time.
it's been great. It's been great chatting, guys. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for joining, Jeremy.
Okay, have a good. Oh, hold on. You know what that Ultimate Podcast is calling? I got to go back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. Daryl, Jeremy Gauthier, the doctor. What a fun guy to talk to, hey?
Right? Give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
Just gotta pull this up.
It sounds like he's getting really into
There he is.
that, eh?
Yeah.
No, that was awesome. Well, like, we get to talk to great Canadian disc golfers, right, from across the country, but we didn't have to go across the country tonight. I'm like I know you were aware of who Jeremy Gauthier was.
Oh,
You've
yeah.
heard him commentating and stuff, but I had a gut feeling that having him on the show, it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And man, he had me duped at the beginning there. Did he have
Right.
you?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, he's trying to move his camera. No, go the other way. I didn't.
You were all ready to go into tech mode. Oh man, what do we got tonight? This guy doesn't know what he's doing. But he was pulling one over on us.
Yeah. It's so good that we've done the big names. We've done the pros. We've done local Edmonton disc golfers, and the amount of talent and fun people that we have in the Edmonton area that love disc golf as much as we do.
Yeah. And then tonight
great.
we get the best of both worlds. We get a great pro
Right.
from Edmonton.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome to me for sure. So I think it's going to be good to get out and see him on the course, and we'll keep an eye and see what tournaments he's playing. Maybe that'll be part of it. Or if we get that disc golf trip going, maybe we'll have to borrow the Roadrunner and add that to it. So everybody, thanks for listening. If you're still listening at this point, hopefully you're subscribed. If you're subscribed on YouTube, if you're not, what are you doing? Click that bell, follow us on Instagram, like, comment, do all of those good things for us. If you want to support us further, we've got our Patreon, and you can check it out. We got a free level and other levels you can show your support, and you can check us out on Linktree and buy us a beer. That's a one-time support there that we appreciate. And then, of course, what we try to do for you is we try to give you back by giving you discounts and giveaways when we can, that type of thing. So use Chain Out Podcast at Cardinal Disc Golf, BR Disc Golf, and Chains the Disc Golf board game, and you'll be able to get various discounts there. Or go over and use COP15 and get 15% off at Goat Town.
Hang on, Jeremy. I've got too many buttons to push here. I've got screens coming up all over the place.
Look at all of these
There we
things
go.
coming up. I
Where's
probably
the
went too
last
fast.
one?
We got to do
There
some
we go.
timing on that. We'll do some practice afterwards. That
Too
kind
many
of thing.
buttons.
Yeah. And thanks to all our Patreon members who have already subscribed and helped us out there. We appreciate you. We're going to be starting our Patreon Around the Basket episode in 15 minutes.
But we're gonna go live right away.
Yeah, well, you might as well let the cat out of the
Right.
bag there.
Yeah, exactly. So we teased it on another episode. We only see the podcast from this side. We finish this episode. We say we're going to be live on ATB in about 15 minutes. We go use the washroom, grab a drink of water. We come back and we start the podcast again. And everything is great.
Yes.
But we were informed from one of our Patreon subscribers that maybe we could do something, put on some video or something, because between us finishing Chain out and ATB starting, you guys are just sitting there looking at a YouTube screen waiting for
The
waiting for
stream
us to
to
go
start.
live. Yeah.
So,
So what we're going to do, as soon as we end this episode, we're going to go live on ATB, and we're going to roll a compilation video, or a funpilation video, as I said last time.
Yes.
We're going to hit that, then it'll be playing, so you'll have something to watch while we nip to the washroom and do our things and whatever else we got to do. And then when we're ready, we'll come back, and then we'll be right on again.
Yeah, and I want to give credit where credit's due. So thanks to Mark Thompson, our buddy, for that idea. And we forgot to mention as well, he's the one who gave us the warship as well, to the Hobsonheiser warship to give away. So thanks, Mark. Great idea with that. Hopefully you guys like it. So tune into that.
I thought you were going to say give credit where credit's due. Daryl put all the hard work into editing it and making it happen, but no.
Okay, and I want to put a little more credit to where credit's due to Waldorf for putting all that stuff together. But yes, so we're going to talk about what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Waco a little bit, how Chantel and Rebecca Dawn did there. We're going to have Thomas German on the show and talk about the Gold Eagle Open and also about leagues. So check that out. But Daryl, you got that Roadrunner now. What hole are you taking that Roadrunner on?
I mean, I got to take it to hole 7 at Rundle now.
Yeah, okay. To the really super long hole at...
Right, because Jeremy said you can
Well, I
take
guess
it
it's super light.
put it right on a hyzer.
Yes.
I mean, I'll throw it 2 or 3 times to get it to the basket.
Of course.
Right? Excuse me. But I'll throw it 2 or 3 times. I'll eventually get near the basket. Maybe because it's so understable, so flippy. I'll be behind the trees. I'll throw it out wide to the left-hand side. It's going to flip. It's going to turn over. It's going to come right back to the basket.
Oh, and you know what I think? Is it probably going to do this with the way it flips? Is it's going to start on Am's side of the chains.
Right.
And it's probably going to flip over the basket to Pro's side of the chains. Do you think
Exactly.
it'll do that?
It could do.
Okay.
But there's only one thing that it will do.
Of course, there's only one thing it can do.
And that
Is chain
Chain
out.
Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you right now.